women are actually celebrating divorces on social media. Now, today I was working out, and on Instagram, this chick happened to post, and they had this party for like one of their friends that got a divorce, and were posting pictures on Instagram about it, and it was like hashtag bye boy, and she even had a shirt on where if you were in the perspective that you were looking at her shirt, it would basically be like two hands flipping you off. And the double flip off, guys, the double flip off. And I just thought this was just very, very strange, but I've seen this before that, where chicks are throwing parties and celebrating that the divorce is going through and everything. And I actually made a snarky comment on it. I was just like, wow. I was like, is this guy paying child support or alimony or both at this point? I said, I'm shook. And you guys wonder why guys are scared to get married these days. And I got attacked, guys. I got attacked. It was pretty epic. And I was laughing. I was kind of doing it in between sets. And one of the common things that multiple chicks said, like, oh, you have a small penis, you have a small dick, and all this stuff like that. And it's just like, what does this have to do with anything? When guys look at this, they see that women are celebrating these divorces. And we can bet that in that situation, she probably initiated the divorce. 80% of the time, women initiate divorce. And it's just, they wonder why guys don't want to get married. And, it's just unbelievable. And then another girl, and it kind of shows you where they kind of like assess their social worth. They said, you don't have enough followers to be making these statements and stuff. And it's like, what are you talking about? And then when you looked at her following, she had like 800 followers, but she was following like 900 people. So her ratio wasn't any good. I mean, if you guys don't know that on Instagram, if you just want to gain more followers, you just follow a bunch of other people and comment on their stuff, and then they will likely follow you back. And then what people do eventually is they'll start unfollowing a bunch of people so that then their ratio will be back in check, so that they could get to a point where they like have like 2,000 followers, but they're only following like 300 or 400 people or something like that. I know that sounds like a weird game, but this is the kind of stuff, people do for whatever reason, if they're trying to assess their social worth out there or something like that. But again, from a guy's perspective, it's just really, really tacky when women are celebrating divorce, and we all know that the divorce courts are in the woman's favor. So it just, from our perspective, even subconsciously, we just kind of noted that, it's just going to be flighty. You've got to protect yourself if you are ever going to get married. And I don't really recommend guys getting married unless they're going to have kids with that woman. I feel like that's the only reason that you should get married, to have a little bit more cohesion, to raise children and that kind of thing. But you got to protect yourself out there. All the friends, that I have, that I grew up with, basically all, they essentially all had kids and, got divorced, or they weren't married, and then they're not with the baby's mama anymore. I mean, that's pretty much everybody. And there's a couple friends that are still kind of single, never been married. There are a few out there, but for the most part, everybody really kind of went through these vicious breakups. And if you kind of look at our parents' generation, it maybe happened further on in life. It happened when they were in their 40s or 50s. And then if you go back to the grandparents' generation, they essentially stayed together for life. Now, there's something to be said about that. What I've noticed is the only relationships that seem to be lasting these days are these religious women that are in isolation. So the Amish communities, I mean, how would an Amish woman cheat? Was she going to get in a horse and buggy and she's going to like go to, some other guy's house or something like that? It's just not going to happen. They're in isolation. They're not on social media. They're never rubbing shoulders with other people. And the same thing for the guys. I'm not trying to place blame on women in that situation. It's just in general, and that's why in California and the big population centers, you're going to have a higher divorce rate, because they are exposed to more people. And, you know, they're able to stray more easily, kind of thing, and they're in connection with people through social media. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think about that? Leave a comment below. Have you ever seen somebody celebrating divorce? Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and see you guys later.